What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Pricey Popcorn Podcast. Our Instagram was hacked today, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks. You should follow us there anyway. We got the password reset and everything, but
we're back.
Yeah, I don't know who's out here trying to hack our Instagram.
Yeah, someone's trying to take down the Pricey Popcorn
evidently
Podcast.
Somebody wants to, put some opinions out there on our behalf or otherwise slander our personhood. So, we're going to move past it because today we got a great topic in store.
We have the best topic, to be honest. A lot of the Pricey Popcorn fans have been asking me for this one, at least, and kind of based on our episode last week, talking about best TV shows of all time. You know, we had to break down the greatest TV show of all time, which is Breaking Bad.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, or the best TV shows, and really, in our opinion, there's nothing that really comes close to it. Or, well, maybe there's some stuff that comes close to it.
Yeah, there's nothing...
But nothing quite beats it.
Nothing beats Breaking Bad. So today we're going to be Breaking Bad ourselves. We're going to be just going through a bunch of different stuff and, discussing the whole series as a whole. For those of you watching, I have a handy dandy notebook for the first time. As you guys know, I never have anything since my phone's the one that records this. Ben's always Mr. Lucky that gets to be able to fact check.
We could
our
just
nonsense.
Get a camera. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. So we're gonna get rolling today. Just right off the bat, we're not holding back with spoilers. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad,
it's been out for a decade,
and it's on Netflix, for Christ's sake. Like, you got all the opportunity. Yeah. I mean, not everybody has Netflix.
Huge spoiler alert! If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, 1, you shouldn't be watching this. You should just go watch Breaking Bad. 2, it's been out for like a decade.
And, maybe you don't care enough to watch it and you just want to hear why it's good. I guess that's okay. But, it's really going to be better for you if you just give it a watch yourself. But let's get into it, Brady. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, so I guess it's the greatest TV show of all time without any question in my mind. From start to finish, it's a flawless 7 seasons, technically.
Yeah, I guess because it's 6A and 6B. How many episodes per are those? I don't know.
I think it's like 8 or 9 per.
Yeah, so that's enough to warrant it being a whole season in my eyes.
It's flawless from start to finish. I have a few gripes, which we'll get to. I'm going to air some grievances about some of the characters in the second half of this. But I guess to start, so we kind of touched on it last week. Better Call Saul. This was one of the hot takes I looked. So I was trying to research what people care about in the Breaking Bad fandom. Apparently, the hottest take is that Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad, which Better Call Saul isn't done yet. Ben still has a season he has to catch up on. I'm all the way caught up. I don't necessarily agree. I don't know if Ben agrees or disagrees. Well, I think it's a hot take considering Better Call Saul's not done yet.
That's true. They could do something absolutely phenomenal. I mean, what I like about Better Call Saul is you get my favorite parts of Breaking Bad fully fleshed out and put into one. Saul is always one of my favorite characters because he's so verbose.
He is the only comedic relief on in the show.
Right. And Mike, getting to learn more about him and what drives him.
And even Gus.
Yeah, even Gus. You have more information on these characters, but it doesn't introduce the characters to you, so I don't know if you could possibly say.
Everyone said that it was going to fail. Everyone said there's no way you can make a better show in the Breaking Bad universe.
Yeah, it is remarkable that they've at least made something
without Walt and Jesse.
Yeah, and
have it succeeded, and it's only succeeded.
Yeah, it really was a crapshoot. Like, is Saul going to be a good enough character to carry his own show? Yeah, and it's Bob Odenkirk being phenomenal as a performer, and Vince Gilligan still has a huge hand in it. So
they still do it together. Yeah,
it's still the same quality of writing, the same attention to detail every episode. It's got a little bit of the. We're getting a little off topic here, but
I think it's worth mentioning.
So one of the things that we were talking about before shooting is some people will criticize Breaking Bad for the first season in particular, and especially the first episode, for being a little slow.
Yeah,
and I think that Better Call Saul falls victim to that a little bit more so than Breaking Bad does.
It's yeah, I don't understand. I get it. It's not, it's not the last season. or anything, but
Right.
every single pilot of every single TV show is pretty much slow. You have to build somewhat.
Right, because
You
the
just don't
character has to start in
Yeah.
a comfortable
I
situation.
think I don't know anyone who says the first season of Breaking Bad, especially if you say the first episode of Breaking Bad slow, I don't know what to tell you. It ends with him like pantsless in the desert.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like,
definitely...
oh, is he gonna get caught? Like, it's exciting enough.
Yeah, like episode
What do
1,
you
he's
want?
holding a gun to his head, ready to kill himself.
What do you want
You know?
in a pilot episode? And I think the whole first season builds up. Like, oh yeah, agreed. If you compare seasons 1 to the rest, season 1 is definitely the slowest. But I wouldn't say it's slow.
Right. No, definitely, to me, it...
And
yeah, I mean, they take
anyone that's
time.
ever said that, it's not like they were watching it live, where like they had to wait each week for an episode. They were
And,
like, they were
agonize
watching,
over commercial breaks.
They're watching on Netflix where they can go through, if they want, in a day.
And, I mean, to me, part of the... yeah, maybe it's a little slow, but that's kind of intentional to, like, kind of slow boil things and draw the, contrast between Walt in his home life and Walt when he, is
Breaks
out there
bad.
breaking bad. So, I don't know. To me, it's an essential part of what the show became, so you can't criticize it too much. I mean, yeah, it's obviously not the best the show has to offer, but it certainly isn't the worst. I mean,
do you really want season 1 of any show to peak in its first season?
No, obviously, you want it to have it. You want it to have room to grow, and I think season 1 of Breaking Bad definitely sets the stage. You get to know all your characters, or not all of them, but you get to know your Walt and your Jesse, and
you get to
and
you meet
somewhere
the
to grow.
gang and everything, and you get the backstory on how to build the full season, and then it makes episodes towards the end that much more
Right, because it's amazing how far they've come. Season 1 is pretty small. Tuco's in season 1, right?
Yeah, Tuco's the main, I guess, villain, if you want to call it.
And then they get into him a little more in season 2, right? So
I think he dies, and I haven't seen. I watch it. I've never not watched it like all at once.
No, 'cause
so it all kind of runs together.
I'm pretty sure season 1 ends when they make the big deal with Tuco, and then he kills his
Okay, fair
associate.
enough.
And
Yeah,
then
like
season 2 picks up right there.
To be honest, I really don't know seasons because I just go through it.
No, me too. I do the same. I mean, that's any TV
Yeah.
show these days, especially ones that are streaming. I just kind of watch. And there's not like a huge difference between seasons in Breaking Bad. It's really just where the story starts and finishes for that particular arc. But yeah, I don't know. Season 1, great season. I think some people say season 2 is the worst, but it's not like there's a huge drop off.
I mean, the last season's the best season.
Yeah,
I think season 5's probably my favorite though, because I just feel like
because you're so in the world and
Yeah.
everything's so stable where it is. It's
like before shit hits the fan.
right, and there's stakes in that there's a real enemy still there in season 5.
Yeah,
in
you still
Gus.
have Gus and everything.
Once that dam breaks open, then it's just watching Walt thrive.
Gus
in his
is
world.
Gus is fantastic throughout
Yeah.
the whole thing, and his death. One of the things I never had a problem with. They say his death is like Gus would never go out that way.
I don't know. I mean,
What other way are you gonna get it? I think it's fair. Like he's again. So you said this before we started airing. Like Walt's so cocky and full of himself, and he's so arrogant. Gus is the same way essentially. Like Gus is so sure of himself. Like no one can beat me at my own game. But the only reason he gets beat is because of his like vengeance and him
his hubris.
him trying to be like fuck the Salamancas.
right. Yeah, it's that essential flaw. They
And
obviously
then all of a sudden he just starts hitting the
Ding, ding,
hitting the
ding.
bell.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a lot to build up the similarities between Gustavo Fring and Walt. And both characters have these... I mean, they're both so smart and they're both so savvy when it comes to being a crime lord. But they also both have these kind of essential flaws that are a huge part of who they are. With Gus, that being his desire for revenge. With
Yeah.
Walt, that just being his arrogance and his desire for, approval from the world, or for people to think he's the smartest guy ever.
Well, to be honest
that's
with
what kills
Walt,
him.
so I think it's a good way to get into Walt because everyone loves Walt up until like the end. I root for Walt the whole time, and I feel for him. I might be the only one that I'm like, I root for him towards the end because I think he's more blinded by love and his like what he wants more so than like just trying to be a crime mob. Like obviously towards the end like he gets to that way, but when I watch it, like I think everything he does is for Jesse, without a doubt. He loves Jesse probably more than anyone else in his life, especially at the end. Loves Jesse more than anyone else. And
I'll let you finish.
And I think in the middle there, he's definitely upset because he's upset about gray matter. He's upset he gets screwed out of the money. He's upset about the teaching shit. He's like everything else in like the beginning and then the middle. I think that's what a lot of it is. And I mean, I think it festers, but then I think it's him, and he just wants to, like, he honestly does care about his family and Jesse more than anything else.
Well,
he's just blinded by.
Well, I'd say that it's not
enough.
More than anything else because his actions pretty clearly put on the table that he does so much that is just in his own self-interest. He has.
So I have a few examples of all this. I mean, so again, like you said, he's not a perfect crime boss by any means, but like every time he has a chance to like pick if he'd rather have the money or family, he does choose the family and or Jesse. Like when he could, like in the beginning, he could easily like just like said, screw Jesse, kill him.
Yeah, but it's not because he loves them so much. It's because he wants to control them and he wants to have.
In the beginning with Jesse,
he wants to have a family more than he loves his family.
That's fair.
He wants someone to come home to more than he actually loves Skylar. He wants a partner more than he actually cares about Jesse.
That's fair. I'm with you. Not the Jesse one, but the family one I can agree with. But he still wants the family more than he wants to be a rich crime boss or like run the meth game.
And I would personally put them as equals to me because he goes so far.
But he easily could have gotten rid of Jesse. And at the beginning, I do agree he does try to manipulate him. But then, like later when he runs over the drug dealers with the car, he does it because he cares about him. And then the whole last episode where he saves him and sets him free.
Because he's upset that the situation has gone out of his control and he wants to regain control of the situation. It's like when Jesse is standing there pointing the gun at him, say you want me to do this. Yeah. It comes down to Walt's desire to be in control of the situation above all else, which he's a sociopath, so he can mask that as,
I'm not disagreeing, but I still do think like he honestly does care about Jesse more than anything
agree
else.
with you.
And I think that's what it is. I think he definitely wants control, but I think he loves Jesse and wants to take care of him more than this control.
Because in the final season, he meets up with Skylar in her new apartment, and he says, "It was all for me." He comes clean. He loves his family and everything, but he lets his ego become the dominant force in his life. So, sure, he loves his family and all, and the show intentionally makes it ambiguous so that you can relate with him, and so you root for him the entire time. But the point of the show is that, like, you can be a good guy with somewhere down in there good intentions, but it's your actions that are the mark of who you are as a person.
Sounds like BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
No, but I root for him the whole time. Like, I do think he's got good intentions at the end of the day. But it's his act. Like again, like every time he has a chance to pick, like when he has $80 million in barrels and he's trying to plead for Hank's life.
Right.
Like,
but is that because he actually cares about Hank, or is he's like, shit, consequences of my actions? It's like
can be both.
It's like it can be both, but it's like the screaming 6-year-old who, gets in trouble in school and is more upset by the fact that he got caught and is in trouble than he actually, is remorseful for what he's done. I don't think there's any true remorse from Walt for his negative actions.
Yeah, I mean, Well, yeah, again, I don't think. I don't think there's remorse, but I think he'd rather have Hank than money.
Right.
He'd rather have the family and have Jesse than
He would, and it's just a shame that he doesn't realize these things until it's too late.
But then he goes out in a fiery blaze of glory.
He sure does.
In that last episode, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's Breaking Bad's a show that I think. I mean, I can say in retrospect now, when I first saw that, I was like, really, this is it? But I love it. I love that they left it open-ended. But I also love that they've answered the question since then. He's dead. When it first came out, and until the Breaking Bad movie came out, honestly, people were like, is he alive? He could be alive. You don't see him. He's still got, a little bit of.
I was just going to bring up The
eyes.
Sopranos, but you haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah,
so,
I've not gotten there, please.
Yeah, there's a ton of endings. It's not. I don't think that's an actual cliffhanger. It's just a, fan base speculating and trying to just talk about it because they just lost the.
Well, if they wanted to make it not a cliffhanger, they could have shown some aftermath, but they cut it right there. That's really they cut it where you're still in the middle of the scene. There's no. There's no end game. There's no aftermath scene of resolution. They cut it like the way they cut it.
What are they supposed to do? Go to TV of them saying notorious?
Yeah, show Walt Jr. and Skyler oh my God, he's officially gone.
I hate Walt Jr. I hate Walt Jr.
I don't know.
We're getting into I hate Walt Jr. I don't know why. I just hate him. I just hate him. The whole time I hate him. Just something about I just hate him. I think
you hate him because he doesn't sympathize for Walt when the time
yeah,
comes
probably.
down
I still hate him. I hated it in the beginning though. When my first watch there, I was like, fuck Walt Jr. And then he changes his name to Flynn. It's like, fuck Flynn. I hate him. I don't know. And then Marie's bad, but Skyler's the absolute worst. Skyler's the worst character on the show.
Okay, why?
Because this is a real Matt Doreros answer. She just is. She's the most annoying. She's the most she calls Walt out on his shit, but then she has the affair with Ted Beneke and she fucks him over that. I don't know. I just think she's
Walt.
I
the
just
whole
think she's
point
the
is
most,
fuck Walt. She should be able to go out and do her thing.
I just think she's just. I just can't stand watching her, and I think she's the worst. She's just the worst character.
Yeah. So I think the focus is she's not the
Who's the worst character? Who's the worst character?
What do you mean by the worst? Does the worst things?
Who do you? No. Who do you?
I don't hate Marie. I cannot stand Marie.
I can't take,
but only because of the fact that her hypocrisy bugs me so much. For Marie, it's for Skyler, it's the fact that she's getting absolutely screwed over. So good for her for, obviously what she does is to a degree wrong.
But
I
just don't.
You cannot.
I just can't
fault her
stand her
for it.
I just can't stand her.
Yeah. Well,
but at least Marie's bad too.
Marie, yeah, just from a moral perspective. But they do that on purpose. They position Marie as someone who, she's a good person by society's regards, by all these kinds of metrics where she fits in, but. She's just as much of a piece of shit as anybody. She's going to go out and, steal. She's going to gift you the thing that she stole. The show does a really good job of painting, connecting lines
the juxtaposition
between
throughout the entire thing. Everyone's connected, and it's everybody. It blurs
is a
the
piece
moral
of shit.
line. It's not black and white. Every single person on the show is gray. Besides, maybe Hank, I guess. There's a few that stand out.
Even Hank's gray because they go into the corruption of the police department, or of the DEA.
Yeah.
What could have
they blur there's no one's no one's safe. Everyone's.
Well, I'd say Walter Jr. is kind of
I guess
he doesn't do anything wrong. Yeah,
I
maybe he's annoying,
so,
but he doesn't do anything wrong.
That's fair. That's fair.
Jesse, at least he's the heart and soul.
Before we get into that. I have to say one thing. My favorite scene of the show is when Hank's in the bed after he got shot and Marie's bringing him the minerals. She goes, "Here are your rocks," and he goes, "Jesus, Marie, they're minerals." Best part of it. I love it. It's my favorite. I love it.
Marie, she just doesn't understand.
Then all the Breaking Bad memes that have come out in the last like few weeks, few months.
I haven't seen them, but I'm sure they're great.
There's the one where it's Jesse goes, "He can't keep getting away with this. He can't keep getting away with this," and then just plug it into like every social situation. And then there's the one where Walt, right after Hank dies, when he hits the ground and he drops to the ground, they've been memeing the hell out of that.
Right. Yeah. So
then there's a bunch of Better Call Saul memes as well. But yeah. So what you say about Jesse? So one of the things I've jotted down is Breaking Bad's about Jesse. It's not about Walt. That's probably my hottest take. The whole story is about Jesse. It's Jesse's story. It's not Walt's story. The whole thing is about Jesse, because everything kind of revolves around like, yeah, Walt's the main character, and it's about like him cooking Crystal.
But Jesse's the one who actually goes through growth.
But like it's Jesse's actual story, and the ending, and then the movie solidifies that, because it's about him getting through everything, and like a lot of the worst stuff actually happens to Jesse. Like Jesse's the one who goes through like literally everything.
Right. But I think that
it's a story about.
I'm with you, because I think that Jesse, you could easily have just framed the show around Jesse, and it would have been
so they were
pretty much just as good.
He was supposed to die at the end of season 1.
Yeah, so it's the rumor. Or I think, they
was
probably
the rumor?
come
like
out,
they can, like he said like I was supposed to die in season 1, and then like everyone loved me.
Yeah. So I mean, and you said that all the worst stuff happens to Jesse, but in some ways Jesse's kind of there just to be like, here's the living, breathing embodiment of the consequences of Walt's actions. And
yeah, I mean he is there, but also
Jesse
I don't know.
does.
I think the story is like about him and his personal growth. Like you can definitely frame it as that. When I rewatch it, I think like I watch for Jesse to see like his character development.
I don't know how the screen time breakdown would be, but it's
like I think I'm on like if I watched it, it'd probably be like double-digit rewatches. I'd watch it like it's like Jesse and like learning more, like trying to see like the little details of his character development and everything. Because Walt's story.
Yeah, Walt's
that's in your Walt's in your face. Jesse's the like nuanced.
Right, and Jesse's the one who actually experiences conflict and then has to deal with the consequences of actions, and has to he's the one who actually has to make change and do the work of change, whether it's for the worse when he kills Gale, or whether it's for the better Gale. When he he goes through his whole kind of
I love Jesse. Jesse, like there's some episodes break my heart. Like the episode where he buys the house. Oh, when he buys the house, I love that episode. When he goes back to his parents.
When his parents sell the house.
Yeah, and then he goes up and he's like, "Give me the keys." I love it. I love that the whole episode. But then when he has like all the meth heads in there, like just like doing that, like breaks my heart. Everything with him breaks my heart. Him like missing Jane breaks my heart. Him like mourning the loss of, oh God, when fucking Brock gets sick, and then when the mom dies. Sad shit.
Yeah, it's so heavy.
Sad
he
shit.
Goes through so much, and that, oh my God, they keep him locked in the ground for however long that ended up being. Sheesh. Yeah, Jesse. I mean, Jesse, I think is. I said earlier that like Saul Goodman's kind of my favorite character, but when it kind of comes
his favorite
down to
side character.
Yeah, like I mean, I mean, I'm gonna go out here saying I don't need to spend a whole episode with Saul Goodman, but I love Better Call Saul so much.
Better Call Saul.
Jesse's the one who, in the Breaking Bad, umbrella, has the most there's the most to him, and I mean, yeah, they kind of put you there. They situate Jesse as the one you can most relate to, I think.
Yeah,
especially for younger viewers.
For sure. I'm glad they didn't kill him.
It's interesting, like, Breaking Bad's a show that's been seen by so many different people. I wonder what my dad thinks about Jesse Pinkman. He's seen this show. Because to me, it's like
Probably thinks
Jesse's
he's
the
a
guy.
scumbag.
Jesse is my seeing eye view into the world of Breaking Bad. And yeah, I think some people probably like see
I'm
the
in both sides, like,
dumbass drug addict
I
side
see
of
both.
Jesse,
I see, like, when I watch, it's like Walt and Jesse. I wouldn't say I'm like either or.
right.
I just think I've seen,
if I gotta
like,
pick
I've
one.
watched it through Walt's eyes so many times that, like, I try to, like, go through and watch with Jesse.
Right. Well, I personally, just like in my own life, I never
Yeah.
really see myself as like boss man. So like Walt, I can channel Walt as an iconic figure that when I'm trying to be on my boss man shit, get a little bit of that, kind of like the Mike Corleone from The Godfather kind of a deal. But, just in general terms, the character that I brass tacks relate to the most, Jesse. Just because.
For me, it's Better Call Saul.
So Better
Probably
Call.
not.
Better
Honestly,
Call
anyone in the Breaking Bad
Flynn.
universe, if I had to relate to, it'd probably be Nacho. If I had to, like, pick one.
Nacho from. Okay.
I just feel like,
Yeah, just trying to,
hustling,
young guy
hardworking, trying to
come
do his
up,
thing, cares about his family.
looking for his shot,
Yeah, trying to do the right thing.
willing to suck it up and do the.
Like, I feel like
shit for
if
the guy
I
he
was in
hates.
that situation, I would be under his general, range.
Right.
I want to be. I'm not smart enough to cook meth, and I'm not bad. Like, I'm not Walt, and I'm not bad enough to be Jesse.
Right.
Like, I would never be in the position for Jesse. I feel like if I was, I'd be some type of organized crime, and I feel like Nacho's lane would, like.
Yeah.
I think
I
that'd
feel
be. I feel like that's where I would fit in if I was in the Breaking Bad universe.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't. See, I could see myself kind of dabbling with everybody, doing a little ripping the old meth pipe with Jesse. I would never do meth in my life.
You like Badger?
Christ yeah, Badger's my boy. How about Skinny Pete is the best bro in the universe?
Yeah, he is.
You're my idol and shit, man, or you're my hero and shit, whatever he says during the movie to Jesse. Hey, why you doing this, man? Because you're my hero.
The movie was kind of I mean, like, it did what it had to do.
Yeah, but it
And
was
you
so
can't hate
limited.
it for that,
It's so
but
limited.
it's one of those things, like, no matter what they were, I don't think they were ever going to be successful. Like, no one was ever going to love it.
Yeah, I
know?
honestly think they could have done more wrong by doing more than what they did.
Like, so you get Jesse's happy ending, which he needed to have. Everyone loves that. You get to see flashbacks with Walt, which is great.
Except he's got the bubble head.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing a bald cap, he wouldn't shave his head for the role. Soft. That's soft.
And yeah, I mean, like, they tie up loose ends. I love Jesse Plemons. Everyone hates him.
Fat Todd.
Yeah, everyone hates Todd.
He was in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, he is. And he's in far. He's a good actor, but everyone
I
hates
like
him.
his performance,
Yeah.
but I hate Todd because
Yeah.
Todd's a piece of
Everyone
shit.
hates Todd.
Todd sucks, man.
Todd's
crazy.
he might be the most. I mean, obviously the Nazis that kill Hank are the most heartless, but Todd's right up there. Todd might even be more heartless because Todd's just like.
Todd is straight up sociopath if there is a sociopath.
Todd doesn't
on the
care
show.
about anything.
No.
Besides,
And they really
girl,
get into that in the movie.
The girl. He likes the girl. What's her name? The one that gives him the
Lydia.
Yeah, Lydia Rodar Quayle.
Oh, Lydia. Maybe I hate her the most of all the characters in the show. Not because of performance or anything, just because, like, I hate,
Yeah,
you gotta,
she
put
irks
on
me
your damn
too.
sunglasses.
She irks me too, but
I get your caution, but it's kind of that, like, you're doing too much. You're going to get us caught. Just
well, that's why
chill
Better
out.
Call Saul is kind of nice because it. Oh,
Is she
never
in
mind.
that?
Oh, we
Well, I
can't. Yeah,
figure
we
she
can't
is.
go
I mean,
into.
like, I know
we can't
Hank's
go
in
into.
it and everything.
Yeah, we can't go into it since you haven't
We'll
seen
have to
it.
do a part 2 once.
But that's
I
why.
see
Yeah, that's why Better Call Saul is so great because it dives into, like, all the backstories and all the.
Right.
Like,
so I'm
it
sure you
gets
get to
it
know
makes
a little more.
everything in Breaking Bad better.
Yeah, I hope they don't miss. I hope they don't miss, but I don't foresee them missing. I think they seem to have a plan. It's working out so far. It's going to be neat how they I mean, from what I understand, it's going to go right up to, if not,
Yeah, so I think the plan.
overlapping
So
with
the plan
Breaking
is,
Bad.
so at the beginning of every season of Better Call Saul, it's the future, where he works
Right,
at the Cinnabon.
where he's doing
it's the future. It's the future. So I've speculated that so like this season it's gonna be broken up into two. They're gonna do like 8 episodes, but it's gonna go through, and it's gonna hit Breaking Bad, and then it's gonna be. Hopefully, we get at least one full episode
Of post.
of
Breaking
post
Bad.
because we need to find
bet you
out.
we will.
We need to find out like what happens. Like, I think it's like I think what they did with the Breaking Bad movie, they have to give Saul his.
Yeah. No, I definitely think
I think
will.
they have
They've
to
been
end
teasing
Saul. I don't know. And honestly, I don't even care. I don't even care what happens to Saul. Because we kind of like we know where his story, like we know where he is pretty much at the end of Breaking Bad, but like finding out what happens to like for me, like what happens to Nacho between the last season of Breaking Bad last season Better Call Saul into Breaking Bad.
Yeah, because he's not in Breaking Bad.
And the last season like kind of sets it up like it can go a bunch of different ways.
I bet you he'll be somewhere else, or perhaps sleeping with the fishes. I don't know. You think Saul lives, though? I don't think they kill Saul.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, like, make some wild prediction, but, like, it seems to me like he's going to be all right. They're not going to, like, kill Bob Odenkirk. Unless they do, they killed Walt. They killed Bryan
Yeah, I don't
Cranston.
know. But so Better Call Saul, you haven't seen the new season. I want to get into the best episodes of Breaking Bad, but since we're finishing up Better Call Saul, the episode from the last season, Bagman, competes with any Breaking Bad episode. It's fantastic, great,
I have that to look forward to.
awesome cinematography, and it's just a great story. It's just awesome. It's good.
Cool.
Well worth it.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see it. It's just I catch it when it comes to Netflix. I mean, with season 4, I bought it on Amazon Prime just because
Yeah.
I was chomping at the bit.
And I mean, so the thing with the last thing about Better Call Saul is like I care more what happens to Kim.
Right.
That's the
Yeah,
big
where
thing.
is
Like,
she? I hope that. I mean, I'm sure she's just doing something else.
well, I don't think she dies, but something has to happen because she's not in Breaking Bad. And Saul says stuff throughout Breaking Bad that alludes to the fact that he is not married, and that
Right.
like he.
So they're no, I
and
don't think they're together.
And he acts like they're not together. So something
And I
has to
don't-
happen to her.
I don't read any like serious trauma from Saul in Breaking Bad that like she's dead.
Well, to be honest, it's also fair too because they made that before Kim was a thing.
right.
So it's like aftermath stuff. Like,
But still, I don't read Saul as a traumatized character or anything where like the love of his life is dead.
yeah, but like you can
maybe
argue, you can argue like he's mourning the loss of his brother throughout all of Better Call Saul, and he still has episodes where he's like shining face and everything, like happy-go-lucky, funny guy. We only really see him in those moments in Breaking Bad, besides when he's like pleading for his life.
Yeah, but
Like,
he hated his brother. Like he loved his brother, but
still, like I don't think he's. They only he's selective in Breaking Bad. Like they're not going to show him sad. And I think it's like it's like the afterthought. Like if they knew Kim was going to be a hit,
right, they would have thrown something.
they would have known. Like at the end when he's in the hole, like when he's in the whatever waiting to be moved with Walt. Like the last season, he might have said something like, "Oh, like Kim's out there, I have a girl out there waiting for me," or so, like it's all aftermath. It's all afterthoughts of like, if they could have added it in. But yeah, Saul's character's not.
Yeah, he could just be.
Saul's character in Breaking
Bad.
Bad's not that deep where they would have like.
Yeah, they weren't going into his backstory.
Yeah,
too much there.
but. Yeah, so
who knows?
we're on a
see.
tear with this episode, man. We're gonna keep
We're
going.
at
There's
35, but like, so I mean, we shouldn't go too long, but we can talk about, best episodes. So
How do you feel about The Fly?
Flies,
The Fly episode.
great entertaining episode. I'm never gonna be like you gotta watch The Fly, and I'm never gonna say if you skip The Fly you are missing.
So when I
out,
first
but, like,
watched it,
it's great.
First watch through, I was kind of like, what, like, it's if you're watching it for the first time, it's kind of a hard watch because you don't know. You like don't know exactly like what it means or like what's going on. But so my favorite thing about Breaking Bad is Jesse and Walt's relationship, and like that whole episode sums it up. I think.
Yeah,
just a good like quick elevator pitch of what's Jesse and Walt's relationship like. And I think it does a good job of everything because like you can tell they both deeply care about each other, but there's a lot of tension and there's a lot of stuff that goes into the relationship that's
I feel you. To me that episode
and it's a lot of waiting to see what happens as well.
To me that episode is Walt's descent into madness. I compare it to The Telltale Heart from Edgar Allan Poe.
That's fair. That's a good comparison.
Where the hearing the heartbeat, looking through the crack to see the eye, it drives him mad.
Yeah.
And so, the fly is the heartbeat from The Telltale Heart. I guess, and they throw back to the fly throughout the, elsewhere in the series once or twice. So I think it's kind of, they set that up. And that, I'm not some genius making that comparison. I think that's something that's kind of there if you've like familiarized yourself enough with Poe's work recently enough. I mean, it's its own thing too. But, I think that comparison is definitely there, and it's something to kind of start to foreshadow what's going to happen to Walt, where he's going to kind of, it's not that Walt loses it and, sells himself out. But he kind of, has to play he's forced to play his hand by the end. And because of his conscience, just like what happens in The Telltale Heart. So yeah, Fly episode.
Like I said, I like it now, but it's one of those, like, you don't know you don't know why, you don't know what's going on. You don't know its significance.
Right,
like
I like it more.
I
like it more once I have.
Because it's a great episode to really like. It's one of the most detailed episodes. Because I think everything's intentional.
Right. No, totally.
Because not a lot happens, so everything that does.
And it's amazing what, those actors can do when confined to one space, and what the entire, everybody, it's just the
Fly deserved an Oscar for his performance.
An Emmy, but yeah. The Fly himself.
Isn't it
you think Oscar? It's the same Fly that was on Trump's head?
No,
or Biden, how did that happen?
No, it was Pence's head, wasn't it?
Pence's head, yeah. I think it's the same Fly. Probably not. But, I don't know. Good old Fly. It's a shame that he never got it. I go back to, like, thinking of my dad watching that episode. Like, what the hell is going on? But, it's
I'm trying to get my dad's watched Better Call Saul with me, but not Breaking Bad.
Interesting. I actually started Better Call Saul before Breaking Bad. Couldn't quite get into it because, like I said, I think the first couple episodes of Better Call Saul are a little slow or uninteresting, maybe. But then, once I saw Breaking Bad,
the lawyer grind is real. The lawyer grind, it's cool.
I didn't like the whole Slippin' Jimmy bit with the two skater kids. Like I thought like that, that was small potatoes to me. I didn't really care enough about it. But I don't know exactly where I was going with all of that.
Yeah, so I could probably sit here and call out a billion. I could call out like almost every episode of Breaking Bad, but there's only one that comes to mind that's like the best episode. It's like I think it's regarded as the universal, like, best, perfect episode of television.
And is this Ozymandias?
Yeah, it is. It has to be. Like, I think everyone talks about it as, like, the most perfect episode of television. It's fantastic. Huge spoilers. That's when Hank dies.
Yeah, they do that so well. I mean, that episode is so, like, thrilling. It's kind of, the dam is broken. Water is spilling over the edges, and the consequences are real in that episode. And then to see Walt finally just break like that, shoo!
It's a good, it's good.
Like, it's just powerful. It's just powerful.
It's like it's near, like, I don't know what else you could want in an episode of television.
I don't know. How do you feel about the way that Hank finds out Walt exists? I mean, Walt is Heisenberg. Hello.
Yeah, so that was one of the, so it's apparently a huge plot hole among the Breaking Bad community of him just, taking a shit and finding Gail's book in Walt's bathroom.
But that's such a Breaking Bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Apparently, it's like bad. People are upset because it's like, why is that how he found out? Like, Walt's smarter than that.
And then it gets back to like with Gus. How else was he gonna go? How else was Hank gonna find out? It's not like, when Walt is there with agency over the situation, he's gonna come up with some shit to like, call Hank from the hospital, and
he's gonna downplay everything he can in his
bus.
power. But like, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, I think, oh, that's how he finds out. But also, how else would he? What else? They were never gonna have him get caught in the act.
And it was gonna be Walt's fault that he gets caught, and it's totally Walt's fault.
Yeah, that's fair.
He slipped up. He left. Why didn't he just get rid of the damn book?
It works out perfectly too, because then it sets up Jesse and Hank working together, and like the dominoes fall. So,
right, yeah, they played very well after that, and that interaction between Hank and Walt in the garage, in Hank's garage,
yeah, that's good.
Was some of the best TV I've seen in my life. Just how powerful that was, and then the line, "Well, if I really am who you think you are, then my only suggestion would be tread lightly." Like, my heart stopped. That was good. Oh, tread lightly.
Yeah.
Walt has a way with words that I
think the best line is when Walt says, "Say my name." It's like the most iconic, I think.
It's the most iconic. I hold tread lightly as my favorite and what I think is the best line.
My favorite is
subtlety.
Jesus, Marie, they're minerals.
Indeed. Jesus, Marie. Any other episodes of note that we should? I mean, it's all good. They all kind of run together to me. There's not like, I don't watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I never sit down and I always go
think
through
of the whole story.
I watched the whole thing in 1 week one time. So like,
not I. I haven't done such a thing.
It's tough. I love the episode when Gus dies. Like, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, they do that phenomenally.
Great episode.
And they bring Tio Salamanca back into the fold so well. They do so much that they call back to previous seasons in ways that pay off so well. In little examples like that.
Oh, so we can't end this episode without mentioning that Bill Burr is also in Breaking
Bill
Bad.
Burr, for God's sake.
Fantastic. I love Hugh Babineux too.
Yeah,
I love the episode. Well, I guess that's Ozymandias too. When they money pile.
Cash.
Yeah, that's that episode as well. So great episode. I love Bill Burr and I love Hugh Babineux. Especially the Better Call Saul episode with Hugh Babineux with the church. Have you seen that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
Feels good.
Saul Goodman is a trickster.
He sure is. I just love the levels of deception that go into everybody's hands that they play. Yeah, I mean, I hope that they do more with the Breaking Bad universe. Once we'll have to see what's
they've
up.
teased other stuff like something with Gus. I don't know. It's tough.
That interests me the least in some ways, just because like I want Gus to just be the bad guy.
It's tough. Like, I don't know what I'd want to see them keep doing.
Right. And Gus is such a great performance. Like, I've never seen a bad guy who does the Two-Face thing so well that I don't like when they overdo it. Like, he's a totally different character in The Mandalorian that they try to play off of the fact that he can be like, he can be that prim proper guy, but then low key he'll kill you. But it'll never be done as well as it is done in Breaking Bad, and I think they should kind of like not mess with it too much.
I'm with you. I mean, I'd love to see more of the Chicken Man, but
yeah,
we still have a whole season of Better Call Saul for that.
It's true.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, the only thing they could do something with Walt Jr.
I don't think there's anything there though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think they could always do, depending on what happens to Nacho, they could always do something with like the Salamancas before. Like, it doesn't have to be a direct
Right. Yeah.
spin-off. Like, it could just be within
what's
the
going on in
Breaking Bad.
Europe, you know?
It could just be within the break. They could always do a Todd one.
They could do Todd.
Jesse Plemons' career is like, it's going up right now. So
Yeah, he's doing good.
He's a rising star with everything. So they could definitely. I don't think he has the audience reception to do that, but I think it's a possibility. Everyone hates Todd.
Yeah, but not because of what's his name? What his name's Jesse, right? Jesse.
Yeah,
Plemons?
Jesse Plemons. Yeah, it's weird. It's confusing, but
yeah, because he's Jesse.
Yeah. But yeah, like everyone hates Todd because not because of his acting, just
because Todd's a prick.
He's a bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't
guy
want Todd as the main character in anything.
Yeah, people hated the movie because Todd was so prevalent in it. Not.
Yeah, how about the movie where they like spend the first 3 minutes where you can only half see his face, just to get you used to the fact that he isn't Skinny Boy Todd anymore. Which really, I think that's what they were doing. Like, they were intentionally kind of like easing you into it. And then they're just like, okay, rip the Band-Aid off. He doesn't look... Okay, it's 5 years later. He looks different. Sorry. Yeah. It's the same with Huel. On the opposite end, Huel loses a ton of weight after Breaking Bad. Then when he comes back in Better Call Saul, he's like significantly slimmer.
Just,
That's life. Life goes on. You got to suspend your disbelief there a little bit, As with anything, it's fiction.
I think we hit on everything I really wanted to talk about. And plus, we're almost like an hour into this.
Yeah, Christ almighty. Yeah, I don't know. Let us know. Do you like Breaking Bad? What's your favorite episode of Breaking Bad? Who's your favorite character? Do you think Walt is someone you should sympathize with, or is he totally just a bad guy? Who's your least favorite character? All that kind of stuff. Let us know.
Walt Jr.
It's
got to be Walt Jr.
Tell us what you'd like from the Walt Jr. spin-off show. And, follow us at our hacked Instagram account, Pricey Popcorn.
Yeah, we're
Pricey
gonna
Popcorn.
No, just Pricey Popcorn. We're gonna do a Better Call. We'll do a Better Call Saul review at some point.
Yeah,
maybe when Ben watches season 4, we'll go through it.
Well, when is season 6 gonna come out? I've watched season 4. It's season 5 that I haven't seen.
I don't know. I don't know. They haven't filmed it yet.
Ugh.
So yeah, we can do a season 5 whenever Ben watches it. I'll gladly go through that.
I'll watch it soon.
It's new enough. It just came out last year.
Yeah, it's just.
But
I gotta
pony
up the cash.
Take it easy. Thanks for watching Pricey Popcorn. Share with a friend and don't hack our Instagram anymore.
No, thank you. See you next week.